Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Ivory Mayhorn is in the building.
All right.
Let me tell you something. If you don't know this guy, you need to get to know him. You dig what I'm saying? Now, you may not know him personally by just looking at him, but I'm sure you know his work. Anytime you've seen a young man who may have come through his program that turned his life around, at-risk individuals, people who have been involved, had to do time in prison, at risk all the way around. This man right here has probably laid hands on him. You've seen his work. Man, thank you first and foremost for all the work that you do, the continued work that you do. I know it ain't easy all the time, but you know, you put it down for real, man. You get out there and you don't just talk about it, you be about it, man. How did you get involved in what you're doing? First of all, you're the founder of Launch Point Community Development Center. And that's where you do a lot of work at.
That's right, Willie D. First of all, thank you for having me on the show today. I really love the work that you're doing. I thank the community for listening today. And I promise you in this conversation, you'll be able to take back something really strong that you can use every day in your life. Once again, my name's Ivory Mayhorn. I'm the CEO for the Houston Launch Point. And that's exactly what we mean. We are all about taking our distressed communities, our struggling communities, our communities that are broken. One of the things that I hate the most are our wasted communities, our wasted families, and our youth. We have so much potential. You know, time is up for us to allow that to just continue on just like it is. It's time to take our communities back, put our kids in positions to be those professionals, to be those experts for the future. And it's time for us to become able to become self-sufficient, sustain our own selves through economic development.
Right.
And so that's what Launch Point is all about. You know, how can we get to that place of equality in economic development?
Right.
Okay.
So when you say take our communities back, for the people out there who don't know, because sometimes when you say things like some people act like they don't know who the hell they is. When you say taking that community back, who are we specifically taking it back from?
Okay, I would like to use the word distressed communities.
Okay.
You ever sent up a distress signal? You ever found yourself in a situation, or you ever imagine a situation where it's time to send up a SOS, a distress signal? It's time to burn a campfire for any plane that come over. Well, distress signals are all out throughout all our struggling communities. And those distress signals say we need some help. You know, so many of us have been incarcerated. We need some help. So many of us are starving because we can't find adequate employment. McDonald's is not going to get it. So many of our children are calling for, sending out a distress signal. They're not getting the proper education they need to be able to meet the challenges of tomorrow. You know, we're sending out a distress signal. Our senior citizens, you know, they need the kind of insurance, they need the kind of health care, they need the kind of supporting environment that will allow them to continue with somewhat of a quality life. You know, a distress signal saying that we need new businesses, we need businesses in our community that will help our community grow in a healthy a process where you can have a great quality of life for everybody in the community. There's an inequality here all over our communities between different neighborhoods. There's some inequality between different neighborhoods, and we need to come together with some methods where we can bring our neighborhoods that are struggling for so many years. We need to come up with our methods for bringing our communities up. And the direction is going to be through economic development.
Right. Mm-hmm. So how do we hold these companies that eat off the hood all the time? You got these companies like McDonald's and Chevron and these liquor companies. All of these companies, they eat off the hood, but very seldom do they invest in the hood.
Well, you're so right. If you look around in your neighborhoods, Just count the number of stores that are black owned. Count the number of gas stations that are black owned. Count the number of nail shops, cleaners, all of those places where we take our dollars to. Look at those places and take a look at who's actually there, and then ask yourself the question, what are they contributing back to the community to help grow that community in a way where the children can do well, jobs can prosper, new businesses can start. When you take a look at that, you start beginning to see that the money that you have, the money that the community has, is going straight out of the community and is not returning. And that is a significant problem in our community.
Yeah. I read a story once where they said that the average Asian dollar leaves the community in 30 days. The average Hispanic dollar leaves in 10 days. The average white dollar leaves in 15. The average black dollar leaves in 1 day. So there you go.
Right. And see, Willie D, it all works with money circulation, not money going in one direction and not coming back.
Right.
You see, when you take money and spend it, that money is supposed to be able to create a job, create some type of profit that can go right back into the business, right back into the community. But when that dollar that you spend keeps right on going out of the community, it's kind of like water. What makes water great is its ability to just circle around and come right back and replenish the land. But if water just goes to the land and then just keeps right on going, it's going to leave a desert-like garden. And so we want money to stay in a cycle, a circle or a cycle. It's a lot like what is happening to different factions of our community. We have this cycle of incarceration. That's money circulating. The moment our children let's just say our children goes into the 3rd grade, the moment that they find that one of our young blacks can't read, that's one of them ching-ching things, because that sets off development for a prison. And so now
there's money in the miseducation of the black male and female, you don't say.
If we ever get money education together, we'll be way on down the road as far as catching up with the rest of society in this country here. I wish that our schools actually taught money education. I wish we could get a diploma in money, get a degree in money, because this whole thing is about money. How come it's not being taught?
I want to say that, for my viewers out here who are not black, I want you guys to understand that this is not about being anti anything, but it's about being pro yourself. Just like you guys get it. All the non-blacks, y'all get it. Everybody get it. But black people, and when you guys get it, nobody holds it against you. Like nobody holds it against Hispanics spending money with Hispanics. Nobody holds it against white people who only spend with white folks. Nobody holds Asians accountable for just only spending money with the Asian community, and they do it better than anybody. Nobody holds it against them. Nobody says it's racist for them to only spend with each other. When it comes to black people, people have a problem with me just talking about that. I'm sure it's some non-blacks watching this show right now, listening to this show, got a problem with me just saying black people need to spend money with black people. We're not saying don't spend money with anybody else at all, because that's almost impossible in this nation to do anyway. But we're saying that black people need to spend their money with black people more often than they spend their money with anybody, because if you want the solution to a lot of these problems, it goes right to the root of economic development, just like Ivory has been saying all along, and not just Ivory, but so many people get this. So many people out there keep telling black people, spend your money with each other. You want to get out of this rut. You want the police stop going upside your head. You want the police stop coming through your hood running amok. You want the gang bangers and the gangsters and dope dealers to get out of the hood. You got to become economically empowered. And the way you do it is to spend money with your own people. Everybody gets it but us. Why is it so hard to get this message through the heads of black people when every other ethnicity out there gets it? Why we can't get it?
Willie D, let me kind of talk on that a little bit. What I see and what I have seen over the years is there are different environments for different cultures. Mm-hmm. Now, our cultures mix and they match and they kind of intermingle with each other. But what I have found is that depending on the culture, there is a particular type of economy that is flowing there. Now, if it's Hispanic or if it's Asian, of course, they are spending a lot of time with each other when it comes down to money transactions and doing business with themselves. But the thing about it is, within those communities, there are infrastructure that exists that allow for easy money exchange with each other. Now, let's go into the struggling urban neighborhoods within the city, say Fifth Ward, or, Cashmere Garden or something like that, where there's no infrastructure for spending those things that you like to buy and do all the time. Mm-hmm. Let's just say that, you want to go to the movies, where there's no movie theater in Fifth Ward or Cashmere Garden that's for the neighborhood. If you want to go and spend some money to go bowling, if you want to go and spend some money at Walmart, in these particular neighborhoods, there's no infrastructure. Now, in these neighborhoods that have the Walmarts and that have the bowling alleys and, shopping strips, whatever, it allows for you to start small businesses nearby and around there where your neighborhoods can spend money. But in those neighborhoods that have been thrown away and left neglected, like so many of our mostly black neighborhoods, there are struggling white neighborhoods and Hispanic and all of that. And when I speak about struggling neighborhoods, I talk about all of these types of neighborhoods, because where there's pain and suffering in this country, it really need not be, because it's enough to go around. But when it comes down to infrastructure, economic development can thrive, or economic development can actually, lack of economic development can actually destroy neighborhoods. And see, that's what is happening not only in the city of Houston's most weakest neighborhoods, it's happening in neighborhoods all across the country. And so we would like to bring our weaker neighborhoods up with the stronger neighborhoods in the city, and then the whole city can be strong.
Right.
But we need some infrastructure. But if we don't have the infrastructure, we're going to have to come up with our own made up mind that we're going to participate in growing our neighborhoods. We can do that through some simple things, just by watching where you spend your money and watching how you spend your money. Right.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you something that I was impressed by. Those entrepreneurs out there who are in the hair business. Now, look, I wrote the song. Okay, I ain't got to tell you the title, but hey, if you're gonna spend money, if you're gonna have black women spending billions of dollars on a product, then you need to figure out a way to get in so you can get some of those billions of dollars. Especially if you're black, you need to figure out a way to get some of those billions of dollars. And I'm seeing some guys who are black who are getting into the hair business, and they're like, hey man, buy your hair from me. And black women are responding. They're buying their hair from these black entrepreneurs. And these hair businesses, they are flourishing, man. I mean, they're like, these guys getting loot, like real loot. So that's a good place to start. Start with those items that people either need or they want. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times what we want, we'll go out of our way to get. And women don't need hair, but they want it. And they will spend any price to get it. And I'm loving the guys out there that are starting those hair businesses, man. And we need to look at some of the other things that we like, that we really, really like, that we can't live without, and start those also.
Right, Willie D. That is just such a perfect known truth about our neighborhoods. The good part about our neighborhoods, as much as they are neglected, there are genius type minds in our neighborhoods, and that's what keeps me going every day, because I know what we really have underneath all of the surface. You just gave a description of a perfect example of products and services that we are capable of producing in our neighborhoods. And we're talking about products and services that can get into the millions and get into the billions if we're just simply concentrate and put our minds together on the business portion of what we are able to do. And so that's right back to the economic development that I mean for our community. If we would just put our minds together on business, strictly business, not so much of having the fun and just producing something, but we have to have the minds of someone that is on their way to producing a very viable and very profitable business. We are building other cultures' businesses because they are operating real businesses. All we have to do is do the same thing. And I can guarantee you, with the genius, with the mental, with the mind power that I have seen in our communities of minorities, we have the potential to create some of the most awesome business ventures ever known in our lifetime.
Right. And one of the things that I see often too is that a lot of times black people have to see somebody black doing it to know that they can do it too. And that's okay, I guess. That's okay. But somebody has to be first. So I always salute the guy that says, you know what, I don't give a damn. I'm finna do it. I don't care if nobody that looks like me has never done it. If another person can do it, who says it? What is that saying? If I can believe it, I can achieve it.
That is correct.
And so You're right. There's a lot of brilliant people who come from the hood. Right. I remember this guy telling me once, he said that this is back in my cowboy western days. I was locked up in the county, and this guy was in there, and he was a Middle Eastern dude, and he was earning $30,000 a month for his corner store. And I didn't think that was any real money at the time. I was getting bread. I was caked up, I didn't really think, I was like, $30,000 a month. I don't really sound like no whole lot of money. Cause I'm thinking about my time. I'm thinking, man, I gotta sit up in that store every day. You're gonna have a corner store, you gotta be in there. Otherwise you're gonna get robbed blind. So I'm thinking, I gotta be in there every day. Man, I'm trying to go get these millions, man. I ain't trying to, be sitting up in a corner store every day like that. And then I was like, and I looked, and he tried to sell it to me. He tried to sell the store for me, good price too. And I was like, nah, man, I'm good. And I didn't buy it. And I look back now, and I'm like, man, I should have came up on that. Mm-hmm. But we have to, a lot of times, going back to what you said, we're looking at the glamour. Right. If it's not glamorous, a lot of times we don't want anything to do with it. Right. But it ain't glamorous when you're struggling to pay your bills, or it ain't glamorous when you jump out there and do something foul and you get caught up, and then you have to give all that money you made back to a lawyer, or to get through the day when you're locked up, or give all your money back to your people, or whatever you didn't give away. Somebody found your stash and they got it, and then you come back out with nothing but some some gray hair and a whole bunch of missed years, and your kids are grown, and you done missed the whole lifetime of your people. That right there, man, ain't nothing cool about that. We're going to continue this conversation when we come right back.
All
Hey,
right.
you're checking out Willie D Live.